Abroad with kids. I am so excited about this conversation today because y'all, I get this question all the time. I literally get this question all the time. Bianca, I want to move abroad, but I have children. Bianca, I want to move abroad, but how do I tell my kids? Bianca, what does it look like if I'm going to move abroad with kids? What does the process look like for me? And while I do have resources that go into details about all of these, I cannot give you that firsthand experience. So I'm so excited to be bringing Illy on today because she is someone who has moved from the United States to Thailand with her children. So she can actually give you the first hand experience. And I see that she's already here. So I'm going to go ahead and let and I'm really happy to answer any questions that I can, but it's going to be so cool to be able to actually hear from someone who has this experience. So let's get into it. Hey, Ellie.
Okay. Hey girl, so it's better now. Okay, let me fix my hair.
Yeah.
Cause I
Wait,
literally just
good.
I literally like just got in the house.
Just got oh yeah, it's late for you over there. It's like
Yeah, so I didn't even get time to like get myself prepared. I literally just hopped out the grab and came in.
it's all good. You know, that's the beautiful thing about live. And I tell people, I'm gonna listen. It's y'all go get what y'all go get. Okay, like if
Okay.
I gotta do what I gotta do. We gotta add a little lip gloss. It is, it is what it
Okay.
is.
Period.
But thank you so much for joining. It's good to talk to you live. I mean, I feel like we've been texting and stuff anyway,
I
but
know.
it's good to be like face to face talking to you again.
Schedules,
Yes.
schedules.
Yes, for sure. So I've already talked a little bit about how I'm really excited for this topic because I get questions about moving abroad with kids all the time. But obviously, I don't want to be the one to give your intro. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, etc. However you want to.
Okay, so a little introduction. Hello, loves. I am Alay Washun. I am a mother of three. Oh, excuse me. I literally just ate some taco. I am the mother of three children, and I think is it 72 days today or 73 days today. We left Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, to move abroad to Thailand. So I'm just on this journey, sharing my authentic journey on my personal page. I do share my journey a lot. I share a lot actually on my personal page and my stories and just about my journey and everything that I experienced living abroad. I do a lot of different things. So people always ask me, what do you do for business? So I am a psychologist, I'm an astrologer. I am also an identity shifting coach. So I do a lot of things as far as like mental health. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. So I'm pretty much assisting people with building their mental health and pretty much shifting their identity. So that's what I do for a living. And now we here.
Yes, I'm here for it. A Jill of all trades. I love it. Serial entrepreneur, multifaceted, just like multidimensional. I'm here for all of it. And y'all, we're gonna be back on here to talk astrology another day, okay?
Right.
Because I am like, I don't even know enough to be dangerous about astrology. I know like the tip of the iceberg, but I love hearing about it. I love learning about it. I'm obsessed. And astrocartography, woo, we definitely got to talk about that on a different live. But
We
today
definitely
we're going to be talking
do.
about, yeah, for sure. Today we're going to be talking about your experience, your journey moving abroad with kids. So before we even get to the part where we bring in the children, how, when, why did moving abroad from the US, like how, when, where, how, why did that even come about for you? Like give us the backstory on
Okay.
you going from the United States to Thailand.
Okay, first question. How do I shift the comments so I can see? Like, because the comments are like
Uh,
clouding the whole
so
screen.
you can see
I
what.
never I never understood how I can do that, but I need to. People always ask me that.
Um, I have no idea. I don't normally. I don't. All I do is go live. I don't touch anything.
Okay.
That's
Okay, I think I okay, because I'm like these comments just in the way. I can't even see myself speak.
oh yeah.
Let me just move it
Yeah,
like
like it's easier sometimes if you like back up further from the camera. See that, and that's what happened to me whenever we went live the first time when we first started. I was like, oh, this is so close.
yeah, because it is close and I was trying to see like
Yeah.
how it looked. I couldn't really see that good. Okay, so you asked okay, so the first question was how?
Well, when did moving abroad even cross your mind? Like, how did you even get to this journey? Like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, how did you even get to the place where you were like, I want to leave the United States to move abroad?
Okay, so so it started with my first relationship. Well, not my first relationship, but my first relationship of dating a foreign man. So I was dating a man that lives in the Bahamas, obviously. And I'm talking about obviously like y'all know the story, but
I was
shit, I
gonna
feel
say
like
that's not
y'all know the
obviously.
story. Right, right. So I was dating a man that lives in the Bahamas, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go abroad to meet my man because I met him virtually, and then I went to the Bahamas, got my passport, went to the Bahamas, and then I was like, wow, I think I really want to live. So I was supposed to be moving to the Bahamas with him,
Mm.
but obviously that didn't stick. And after we broke up, I still had it in my mind that I wanted to move abroad. I had imagined myself living obviously on the island, and that's what I wanted to do. Like I was used to waking up to the sunset every day. I mean, going to watch the sun rise and then watching the sunset. I was used to like being at the beach all the time, watching the sun constantly, being around the water, the people. Like I loved it. I
Yeah.
was like, I could really live here. Like that's how I was feeling. And that feeling stuck with me even though we went our separate ways. Even at the end, I was like, I still want to move. So
Mm.
it stayed in the back of my mind. So I kept saying I was going to move to Texas in the States. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just move to Texas. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to just move to Florida. It was either between Florida or Texas, but I knew that I wanted to move out of my hometown.
Yeah.
So that's how that started. And I just never let that go. And
Mm.
then from
So mentally, that
there,
seed
I
was
was like,
already planted.
yeah, it was planted, and I just never let that seed go. And like through the years, I just kept saying, I want to leave, I want to go, I want to leave, I want to go. Where do I want to go? I don't know, but I want to go. So that's how that started, and then from there, it just grew over the years. And I will always see people moving and see people doing all these things. I'm like, I really want to leave, but I think I might want to do it big. I think I might want to
Mm.
move out the country instead of moving out the state.
Yeah. And so whenever you started this, whenever the seed was first planted, this started with, someone who you met online, which one thing I love about going live with people is like, I get to hear all these stories I never knew. Like I never knew this about you. So I'm like, I just love that I'm getting to, even though like we talk all the time, I love that I'm getting to know you on this level as well. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, I mean, oh, just such beauty. Just the beach. I mean, the beach. I mean, that's enough for me. Like, put me on
Yeah,
the
the
beach in the
water.
Caribbean, and I'm like, I don't need anything else in life. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't even need money. I'm like, what do you mean? All I need is this ocean right now. But I love that that seed was planted really early. So there's been years going by, and it's still been there in the back of your mind. Like, I want to move abroad. I'm not sure where, but at some point, I want to experience living life outside of the United States. So clearly there was another point where it went from this is something I want to do one day to I'm ready to make this happen. So once you got to that point where you were like, I'm ready to actually start making physical moves, right? To actually get out of the United States. How was that? What was that like with your kids? Like, what was it like having that conversation or however it was?
Um, well, we actually did a manifestation. Well, it's something that I just created. It's called a manifestation prayer circle, where we
Mm-hmm.
get, because obviously I'm very deeply spiritual. So we would get in a circle in our old living room and we would chant and we would stump and we would name the country. So when I first told them, like, hey, I want to move out the country, they were like, okay. Like we want to do this too, obviously. They
Period.
my kids, so it's always gonna be obvious with them because it's like they my kids, so they want to do what I do. Plus, I feel like I'm fun, so I always make everything really fun. And I was like, okay, y'all, we gonna move out the country, and they were like, cool. And I was
Yeah, you're good.
okay, because my mom was calling. Let me put. I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I had to put my phone on do not disturb because, girl, my mama will blow me up. She would call a million, gazillion, bazillion times. Okay, so let's go. We in it. Okay. So, because it's like when I talk about it over again, it's like it replays like a movie I'm watching of myself. And if you never really unpack it, it's kind of like, I did that. I did
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Okay, So I had told my kids my plan, and they were with the plan. And I was like, okay, it's gonna take us a year. When I first started planning, I was not financially in the position to do it. But I journaled, I wrote it down, and then I made on the videos on my page, I made vision, like small, tiny vision boards of each country because I picked three. So I had did like a reading with my mentor because although I am an astrologer, I do have a mentor that is like higher up than me
Of
that I
course.
will go to and get information and stuff. And we were talking, I was like, I need to dive deep into my astrocartography and I need to figure out, you know. So we were talking and going back and forth with the information that I know based off what I know and the information based off he know. In Thailand, was top on the list. And he's like, yeah, you know, you got a lot of favor in Thailand. And I'm like, I do have a lot of favor in Thailand, don't I? He's like, yeah, so we just were talking or whatever. And then I ended up telling the kids, like, I want to move out the country. I pretty much told them, not the full conversation, but I just told them, like, hey, this is what I came up with. This is what I want to do. So what I first started doing is when I decided in the beginning that we were going to do that, we started watching videos for each country. So I picked three countries. My three countries was Costa Rica, Thailand, and Indonesia. So we would watch videos at dinner time. We would watch different videos. We would sit at the dinner table. It's so crazy. I remember this like yesterday. We would sit at the table and watch these videos and eat. And they'll ask questions like, well, mommy, where they're going? Or where is that? Or how, just asking about the video. And we would just unpack certain things, talk about different things. And then we would do that prayer circle. So every night, like before bed, we will all get in a circle, hold hands, we will pray, and we would chant, and we would clap, and we would name every country because I wasn't in a position at that time. So I needed to somehow put myself there. So I put myself there by speaking it into existence every night when it would get dark before we would go to bed. We would do this manifestation prayer circle. And we kept doing it. We stayed consistent. And throughout that whole year, I stayed in the gym because I knew my mind. I knew I needed to be focused. I stayed celibate. I stayed in the gym because I wasn't dating or nothing. I just wanted to lock in. And I locked in for one complete year. And I did these things. I did some of the things I'm speaking about. And my kids, obviously was connected to. We talked about it every day. They started getting super, super excited. And we just kept going and going and going. And then when I was in the position to buy the tickets, I didn't think about it. I just bought them fucking tickets. The tickets was about almost $3,000
For all
one
four of
way.
you.
One
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Yep, one way. And like my dad and my family was like, why the fuck would you just buy the tickets? But I had to buy the tickets because I had spent that whole year manifesting that. And I felt like at that point I was in a position, why wouldn't I execute?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I just do it? So I was in a position, so I didn't even think twice. One of my
Yeah.
homegirls that already obviously lived abroad. Well, I keep saying obviously, but it's not obviously. Let me stop saying that. My home girl that lived abroad, she was like, I'm gonna help you buy the ticket. So she went online, told me the airplane to go through the airplane line, and then we went on there and she was like, okay, I see a ticket for this much price. For this much. Like this price. Like you wanna go for it? And I sat there and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I
Let's
put it
do
through.
it.
And when I put it through, in that moment, it just became real. Like, we going to Thailand.
We
Like, it was
going to
like
Thailand.
I had to plan, and I did plan it kind of fast because I planned it for April. My dad was like, why in the fuck would you do it that fast? Why wouldn't you space out some time? But I knew that I wanted to be there before my birthday. And I don't know, April was just the divine time. So that's how I got to that point.
Yes, there's so many things. There's so many things I love about this. First of all, let's acknowledge the fact that everybody is not going to understand your moving abroad journey, and they do not have to. And I feel like that's something so many people get caught up in. It doesn't mean you love your family any less. It doesn't mean you love your friends any less. It doesn't mean that you can't hear what someone has to say without trusting your own intuition, because the amount of people who are like, I want to move abroad, but this person doesn't want to come, or I want to move abroad but my family just doesn't understand. And I'm like, y'all, they don't need to understand. I'm like, you don't, they don't have to understand, especially if they're not coming, right? Like, if they're not coming, I'm like, they don't have to understand. It doesn't mean that you don't get to choose what's best for you. And obviously everybody's family dynamic is different, but it just goes to show that you can still do something like this if you are the only person who understands. And everything you said about just manifesting this life of moving abroad is so beautiful. And you mentioned these videos that you all would watch during dinner. Do you mean like videos on social media about the different countries? Like watching people,
Yeah,
like, did you mean watching like other people who were living abroad in these countries? Can you elaborate a little bit more on these videos?
yeah, the videos were YouTube videos. So it's this girl that live in Thailand. Is her name Yvonne or is it Yvette? But she's a single woman. She's an expat in Bangkok. And I gotta get her name. I gotta get her name. I'm gonna tell my kids to grab her phone, but I love her YouTube videos. I will watch her vlogs all the time because I love the way she puts her content together.
Okay.
I will watch her, and then I watched another lady who actually bought a home in
Okay.
Bali. And then it's a beautiful home. She put so much money into that home, and then she ended up obviously like renting it out, like using it as a home where people can like rent or like Airbnb. I watched that story. Yeah, just YouTube videos. YouTube is like everything, and this is why I'm getting better with my content too. I'm like, I gotta start putting my stuff on YouTube because you'll be surprised how many people are on there with the information that you might seek, and it's available. Like they
Yeah.
say, YouTube University. Everything that you want to learn is on YouTube. All
Yeah.
the knowledge that you want to seek is on YouTube.
For
Social
sure.
media too, but YouTube, it's like it's there and it's there forever, and
Yeah.
you can go back watch it at any time. So I was just pretty much play different YouTube videos. But that girl in Bangkok, I gotta get you her name. I'm gonna have my son grab my phone, but I love her.
But you,
She, like I
so you
said,
were
she,
focused on videos where other U.S. Americans had actually already left. So you were watching these like day in the life type of videos.
yeah, because I was like, I need to, first off, like, at first I was like, I want to watch videos of people that look like me. And then I got out of that and I was like, no, I want to hear everybody's experience. So then that's when I started watching everybody's
Yeah,
experience, different people, different experiences. And I was taking it in mentally on what I need to expect. What's so crazy about that is no matter how much research you do, you would never fucking know everything you need to know. I learned that too.
ever.
Because I thought that I learned everything that I needed to know. Then when I got to Thailand, I was like, they ain't tell me about this shit. I was
I am
pissed.
so glad. I am so glad you said that because that is all. And I think do your research. Obviously, like I am not saying don't research. Research your heart away. Watch thousands of videos. Visit for do all the things, but understand that when you get there, like once you actually make the move, there are still going to be so many unexpected things that come up because that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. And the sooner we accept that, the sooner we embrace that, to me it becomes a lot more fun. Like whenever me and my husband left last year, I mean, y'all, I could literally write a book on here's what not to do when you leave the US. Like I could write a book on the number of mistakes that we made, the number of things that we did not anticipate. Like it's just at the end of the day, like it's just it's part of the journey. And speaking
Yeah.
of some of these things, tell us a little bit more about some of the challenges in terms of like moving abroad with your kids, if there, if there were any, and they can be specific to the move or specific to Thailand. But again, if someone is watching this and they are a parent and they want to move abroad with their kids, like what are some things that they could expect from like a challenge perspective?
Um, it wasn't really challenges with my kids per se. It was more so in general. So I think like with my kids, I'm good. I don't really have no challenges with my kids except for shit. They think they could do what the fuck they want to do. They are spoiled brats. And they think because they're not in traditional school anymore, they could just do what they want when they want.
Wait,
Outside of
wait,
that,
I forgot to ask, how old are your kids? Because that's going to be super important as well.
so I got a 13-year-old, a 9-year old, and a 7-year-old.
Okay,
Well,
13,
I'm sorry,
9,
y'all.
and 7.
I'm just a yarning and doing a lot of stuff because I just came from eating and then I had a
It's
little
all
grown
good.
up drink, so you know how it be. But anywho, 13, 9, and 7,
Okay.
and it's not anything with them that was different. Oh, one thing. Okay, I'll get into that. But adjusting with the homeschool is different because I'm world schooling them, but I'm also homeschooling them. So world schooling is when your kids learn through travel and when they learn through the experiences of the traveling. So that's world schooling pretty much. That's like summing it up real simple because it's so
Yeah.
much more to it. That's just making it simple. And homeschool is obviously just me teaching them. So like, son, come here really quick. I'm gonna have my son grab some papers I printed out today.
Okay.
So I create their assignments. Cause I'm obviously I know how to do graphics. I do all my own graphics for my businesses. So I pretty much customize their homeschool assignments. Son, I need you to go get those tell Jameer to come here. I want him to do it. So I pretty much customize their homeschool assignments and I created different assignments for them based off their age. So like homeschooling isn't the easiest. I need you to get those homeschool assignments off the bed and bring me my pink phone. The homeschool assignments that I printed today. So homeschool ain't the easiest, okay? Because I have my own life, but then I have to school them too. So we don't do homeschool every day. I know traditionally people think they have to teach their kids every day. I personally feel like they don't need to school every damn day. Shit. Especially if they traveling, they already doing school. I don't know. I just don't want to raise my kids the traditional way. So I don't homeschool them every day. But here's one of the assignments. Now this is for my youngest son. So this says his name, Carlos. I could put a little superhero
I
on there
love this
because he loves superheroes.
superhero.
Yes, he loves superheroes. And I said, trace your name. He put his name, his date there. And then he just traced his name. And this is just the homeschool assignments that I wanted to share because the homeschool is no fucking joke. But I refuse to teach them the traditional knowledge that they teach in school. I wanted to teach them more so of identity, self-mastery, self-worth, of more so of like who they are, who they proclaim to be, manifesting who they want to be, teaching them about their spirituality. I just don't want to teach them traditional stuff. So I
Yeah.
keep it real simple and I'm teaching them about submerging into different cultures. And it's very different. But like that's not easy. And I want to just say that because it's not. I realized that I'm a different type of mom. And I was chatting with a mom the other day. I ended up because I'm super friendly, so I'm always making friends and shit. So I met this girl that lives in Krabi. She lives in Krabi, Thailand, and we became friends. And she was like, "Girl, like you do everything. Like your mind is all like. When do you get a break?" And I was thinking, like, yeah. I realized I have a different type of mind. It takes for strangers to tell me, like, how do you manage it all? Because it's a lot. But somehow I manage it all. And I don't want to sleep on that. Like, if you're going to say you want to homeschool your kids, you got to dedicate yourself to that. But you somehow got to find the balance.
Yeah.
So that's not easy. I wanted to mention, it's not hard, but I just want to say that. The other hardship that I've had with having kids is now applying for the visas. Because I had to sit here and think, was there any other things that I dealt with? If I'm lying, I'm flying. This damn shit with these visas, honey. So I signed up for education school, but I'm getting a dependent visa for my kids. Whole different process. Now I'm paying my school 9,000 baht in total. So she was trying to charge me 9,000 baht each child.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm not paying that. I know you think Americans got money, but I'm not paying that. And we were kind of having language barriers. And this was something that I shared on my story the other day because I was like, I have to be transparent about this. This is one of the hardest things that I've been through since I've been here because everything else been good. But this shit right here, it was really messing with me mentally
Yeah.
because I was like, not down talking her, the owner of the school, but I feel like as a foreigner, you have to do your own research or they're going to tell you what they want to tell you.
Yeah.
She was trying to tell me, oh, your kids can stay in the country and just get the stamp on their passports. No big deal. They don't do anything to kids that overstay. Well, I don't think that's good advice to give to a foreigner. And me, knowing my astrocartography, I got Saturn and Jupiter conjunct. Saturn will bite me in the ass. That means that I have to do everything legit.
Yeah.
I cannot do no corners, nothing. That astrology is gonna let you know. That means that if I do anything that's not aligned, or if I do anything illegal, or just anything that's not honest and truthful, that it will backfire on me in the worst way.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I don't want to be in a country illegally anyway. So I
Of
was thinking to
course.
myself, like, why would she give me that advice? So it made me look at her differently, because if you own a school and I'm a foreigner and I'm attending your school, I would tell you, hey, just take the stamp. Your kids will be fine, because they can end up sending my kids and deporting my kids, and then I get to stay.
Right.
So I just want to highlight that don't let nobody sell you what they want to sell you. Do your own research,
Yeah.
because they live here. They don't give a shit if you stay or not, and you got to think about it. Americans do the same shit to them when they come over there, so you can't even take it
Yeah.
personal, because it is what it is. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
So that was something that was difficult for me, because at first she was telling me like, "Oh, I filed for you a month ago for your visa. I don't know if it's too late for the kid." Da, 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 da. Long story short, it was worked out. But she kept telling me I had to have this form, a mother and child certification. And then I'm going all around Thailand, U.S. Embassy, everything. The U.S. Embassy, like, we don't know what you're talking about. We can't supply that.
Oh,
You have to get that from your country. We don't know. I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here. Just for her to say, let us contact immigration. She finally contacted them. Then she contacted me back and was like, oh, we don't need the form anymore. Lady, if you've been in business for 15 years, how your ass didn't know that you no longer need the form?
ooh,
So
wild.
this was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
And then it's including my kids. So that's why I had to sit here and think when you said that. I was like, I haven't had any. And I was like, oh, this is one. This
Yeah.
is the challenge that I was dealing with. Because it's like, I can't leave my kids out. Yeah, I'm getting my education visa, but I'm here with my kids. So I have to make sure their visas is in place too. And I learned that your kids can actually be on a visa with you. But then when your kids have their own visa, then you have to go through a whole separate process for getting them visas. I mean, passport. Your kids can be on your passport with you, but if they have their own passports, they have to go through their own separate process with the visa.
Mm,
My apologies, I said
yeah.
that wrong.
No, that, I
So
mean, and, oh, go ahead.
no. I was gonna say, so that's why it's so important to do your own research, because this isn't anything that they told me. I learned
Yeah.
this by myself, and if they would have never told me, I would have been in the dark, because we're having language barriers.
Yeah.
We can't, they don't. I don't speak Thai fluently. I can speak Thai, but I don't speak it fluently. So that's the issue. So
Yeah.
that was my two little, like, I guess you could say, challenges with having my kids abroad. Anything that has to do with me has been good, but just getting them secure in the whole visa thing and going through my school,
Yeah.
headache.
And to be fair, because and people ask about language barriers all the time. I tell people that out of as someone who has traveled a lot and does, I mean, I speak English and I speak Spanish, but I've been to multiple countries where even in the Spanish speaking countries, there have been plenty of moments where I was struggling. So just taking note that whenever it comes to language barriers, yes, you can do things like, Google Translate, you can point, you can, you have your body language, but there are certain situations where it is more challenging. Situations where you're doing things that are more what's the word, like formal, right? Like you're looking at paperwork, you're talking about processes, and also these are situations where you need to be extra careful, right? This isn't just like, oh yeah, well, how do I get to the mall? Oh, they said make it right, but I thought they said right, but it was left, right? You're talking about things that could end up going real left. Okay, if the language barrier is a little bit is too off. So I think that's something else important to point out, that whenever you're moving abroad, even if you are moving abroad by yourself, yeah, you will have some challenges. You might have some things that come up. Things might be kind of funky or whatever with your visa process. But when there's kids, like, that's something else to consider. And honestly, you could make a similar case for even being in the US, I think, and I have always been fully transparent. Like, y'all, I don't have kids, but just based on what I have seen and then the occasions I have been around, because I do have a lot of I have a lot of kids in my life. I don't have any of my own, but even when people talk about travel, for example, like, obviously, even if you're just going on a trip somewhere, it is a lot more simple if you're like, okay, I got my passport, I'm gone, versus, if you're bringing kids with you. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not saying like it's not worth it. Like, they're your kids, right? Like, they're part of your life. They are I assume, the most important part of your life, at least in the top most important in your life. So it's not like it's impossible, but at the end of the day, there are some challenges that will come along with that. And this is whether we're talking about the kids themselves or a process or something that involves your kids. So I mean, either way, thank you for being transparent about that, and even being, like you said, being from the U.S. There, and it's not just Thailand. Okay, y'all, we go places all over, and people, they look and they're like, oh, they're from the U.S. They're rich, and they will overcharge you. They will try to scam you. Like you gotta stay vigilant, and like Illy said, you gotta do your research.
That's a fact.
And now that we've talked about the challenges, tell me about the best parts. What's been your favorite part about being abroad with your children in Thailand?
Um, I would say we pretty much do what we want. We have a full life of freedom. So, and our days aren't like real routine anymore. We kind of just like flow, and
Mm,
whatever comes up, comes up. They might just randomly say, "Hey, we want to go to the movies today." It's like, okay, I could totally afford the movies because it's super cheap here, and it's fun and it's different. So we've been doing a lot more like family things, and we've been doing a lot more like outings, I guess you can say. Um, and I think they love it too because they're not like traditional children. So like they don't have like bedtime. I let them sleep late. Like I was talking to somebody and they was like, "Your kid's not up yet," and I was like, "No." They was like, "Damn, they live the life they can sleep in." And I was like, "Yeah, I let them sleep late because waking them up at 8 a.m. for what? To learn? Why? That sounds crazy to me. I don't know. But I just want them to remember that they had a very, very good childhood. So I try to make it as fun as possible. And I try to make sure that it's filled with moments that they can remember where they were actually happy.
mm,
And I can do that here, and we can do that here. So the best part has just been not being on a routine, not being like, okay, you guys get out of school at this time. So we gotta hurry up and do this so we can be done at this time. Like life was very routine back in the States, and I realized that we never had enough time in a day. And by the time they
mm,
come home from school and we eat dinner, they gotta go to sleep and we gotta redo it again. So there never was like fun. It was a lot of, which structure can be good at times because some people need it, and I am a person that needs it. But it's a difference from where you don't have, what can I call it? You don't have like that a sense of entitlement, like I have to do this or this has to be done. It's kind of like you just flow to your own beat. And I feel like that helps kids be mentally balanced as well,
yeah.
you know, and they don't have those struggles that a lot of people have mentally. Because a lot of people, you ask them where a lot of their trauma comes from, they're going to mention childhood. A lot of things took place when they were children, and they could not be children. They could not be kids. They were always required to show up in an adult presence or just overly do things that they didn't need to do as kids. So my kids have fully been able to like really be kids here
Mm,
and not be
mm.
like super what can I call
Like
it? I'm trying to see how to get,
rigid.
yeah, yeah. Or expect or have these expectations. They don't have these expectations on their back. They can truly grow slowly and enjoy each moment fully without feeling like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And I really do just let them be free. Because everybody's like, girl, you ain't got them on no bedtime. Girl, they ain't got no bedtime. You see the time it is right now. They and they're up. I told them to close the door because I'm getting ready to, do my live, and they know when I'm getting on here quiet. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so that has been a great thing. And I just love that. I feel like being here has brought us closer too because we got here. I mean, they have
Mm,
been kind of like, Mommy, we want to meet friends. I don't want to see you guys all the time. I want to hang out with friends. I'm like, okay, relax. Like, you'll meet friends when we get settled. Right now, we're transitioning through some things. But that's the best part. Just being able to grow with them, love them, spend time with them. Um, yeah.
yeah. It sounds like freedom and flexibility have been a game changer. And what I say all the time about the U.S. culture of the rat race, the hurry up and wait. that everybody's in a hurry. Everybody got somewhere to be, and you got to be there right now, and you're probably running late. And I think another thing to take into consideration from a parent perspective is your kids are witnessing that, and for your kids to be able to see their parent being more balanced, a parent that's not always in a hurry, a parent that's not always scrambling. And listen, I don't have kids, and I struggle with not scrambling. Like that was actually one of the biggest things for me in terms of living the U.S. is like not waking up with an alarm clock, recognizing that Bianca, okay, your day started at 10 a.m. today. Whoop de doo, ain't nobody gonna die. Like it's fine. Like relax. Or like, oh, you weren't up by 6. Like it's okay. But I know for me, like in the US, it's very hard to not tie like value to productivity. It's almost like it's praised in the US culture to constantly be busy, to constantly be running around like crazy. And for me, for someone who is a digital nomad, so I'm in and out of the States, I'm moving around. And even in the US now, like I'm very aware of whenever I'm talking to my friends, I'm talking to, even if I'm just like on the road and I'm driving, it's like everybody seems like they're in a hurry. I get on the phone with my friends and it's like, oh girl, I'm so sorry. I was blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, it's fine. Like, oh my God, I meant to call you back yesterday. It's fine. We're talking now. Like, just these small things that we don't even consider whenever we're living in the States, because in the States, that type of culture, that rat race, that everything's in a hurry, it's at the end of the day, it's the norm. And so going somewhere like Thailand, and if y'all who've been rocking with me for a minute, y'all already know I love me some Thailand. Thailand is in my top 3 countries. I mean, 9 weeks there was not enough. It was not enough, and we absolutely could not wait to go back. So I love to be able to get that perspective from someone else who is doing this with kids, and it sounds like your kids are enjoying. Jesus, it sounds like your kids are enjoying Thailand as well. Like, have they taken a particular like liking to Thai culture, Thai food, Thai people? Like, how are they feeling specifically about Thailand?
They love it. I always ask them. So I really think it has a lot to do with me being a psychologist, right? So I'm naturally always focused on mindset, mind. Like I'm always like, how do you feel? What's your thoughts today? So I constantly ask them, do you like your life? Do you like your life in Thailand? Is there anything you want to change? They're like, no, we love it. I constantly ask them that because I want to know where they are with the experience because I did uproot them and bring them here and they constantly like, we love it, mommy. We love it. I feel like since we got here, it has a lot to do with my astrology too. They've become way more creative. So like my kids are like they draw, but they create paper people too, and they make whole communities and cities of these paper people, and they have real lives. Like, oh, such and such just had kids. Like I'll hear them talking, and they'll have the families talking to the other families that'll have a wife, a husband, kids. Like they became very creative too since they got to Thailand. It has expanded them and made them like extremely like visual. Like their imagination is beyond me at this point being here. I think they love the fact that they can be free because I asked my son earlier, I was like, you love your life? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, why? He was like, because I get to create whenever I want to create. And I was like, oh, okay. That was a good answer because I feel the same way. Because I'm always coming up with some type of business idea or something I want to do. And I can like get up and just do what I want and then not be like, okay, I was supposed to do this today, which sometimes I don't know if that's always a good thing, but gotta have that balance in
Yeah.
there. But it's just the creation. But they really, really love it. They love the fact that they can just eat what they want. I try to stay on them with eating more Thai cuisine, and sometimes they'll try to get American food. And I'm like, I'm not buying that. We're eating Thai food because we didn't come to Thailand to eat American food. And they'll be like, okay, mommy. So I got them trying all these different Thai dishes. Now they got a whole bunch of different Thai dishes that they actually love
Mm.
because of the fact that they're eating Thai food constantly because I'm not letting them just load up on American food. Every blue moon, we can probably do pizza, stuff like that. But for the most part, I like them to eat Thai food. And at first it was an issue, but over because they'll say, mommy, I don't know if I like this. But then I'll like tell them like, hey, change your mindset. You're trying something different. Give it a chance. Don't say you don't like it. Chew it fully. Swallow it. Enjoy it. Take your time with it. And then they're like, oh, mommy, I think I like that meal now. Well, of course. You didn't give it a chance at first. Now you
Yeah.
like it. So our favorite is Vietnamese pho, and
Mm,
they taught themselves how to use chopsticks, honey. I don't know because I don't know how to use them, but they figured it out. So our favorite is Vietnamese pho, and we also order like this, like chicken and rice, and it's only 50 baht. So I'm literally, for all of us, I'm only paying like $6, $7 for 4 meals. So I try to
yes.
also stick to Thai food too because it's super cheap, and my kids eat a lot. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm spending 4,000 baht, 5,000 baht, and every time I go to the store and I spend that, people are looking at me like I'm nuts. But it's my kids; they eat a lot and they're boys, so I spend a lot of money. So if I'm gonna spend all that money and I'm ordering out, you're eating Thai food because Thai food is always cheaper than American food anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just love the fact that they can just do whatever the hell they want, pretty much, and they really enjoy that because I constantly ask them, and that's all they pretty much say when they respond.
Yeah.
So once we get settled, I'm gonna let them get into like some sports and stuff, which is something that they really, really want to do. My middle son want to box. My oldest son want to do some baseball. And then my oldest son, I'm trying to get him situated with YouTube. So I feel like they're able to like tap more into their creative side, and I really want them to do things that they love to do and want to do. So that's what we're working on next.
Yes. And I also think it's important to highlight how intentional. I know you're saying that, like, okay, you got to find the balance, right? And you're not like as structured as you were in the US, but you can tell that you're being very intentional about this transition because, like you said, right now you're acknowledging we are still in a transition period, and we are going to get to a point where we are a little bit more settled, and we are going to be like, okay, yeah, let's start making these kids some friends, right? Like, let's get out in these communities. Okay, let's get them into sports. But you're recognizing that this is not something that happened. You don't just land. You don't land in your new country and then all of a sudden you got all these friends and you're immersed in all these things and your kids are doing all of this. Like, it is a transitional period. And at the end of the day, that period might be different depending on who you are. But I personally just love the intention that you're putting behind it. And I'm
Oh,
laughing about the American food because I remember, like, that's something that me and my husband didn't even recognize until like a few months in. We were like, damn, every time we be looking at these like these other foods, like it's like twice as much money. And like, I love me some Thai food. But me personally, I don't, my taste buds are a little bit bougie, so like it doesn't matter what it is, I do have to switch it up. So I will shamelessly say, like, I was definitely in Thailand eating KFC. But I know that, whenever it comes to like kids and who tend to be a little bit more picky, it definitely makes sense to be like, hey, like essentially just encouraging them to give it a shot because a lot of people don't know, like, even, and especially if you're not a mindful eater, and mindful eating is obviously that's a whole other conversation. But when if mindful eating is not something you're intentional about, like, we don't realize how often we assume that we don't like something, and so that assuming we won't like it, that thought, I'm not going to like this, I don't know what it is, why does it look like that, those thoughts actually make it more likely that we won't enjoy the food, even if it's not the taste. And that's something that I learned through traveling, which is, of course, why I'm always encouraging people to get out here, try new things, travel, including trying new cuisines. And ooh, Thai food. Oh my God.
this
I could go on literally all day. Love Thai food.
maybe is this
So,
so
Illy,
good.
it is, and especially if you like spicy food, and not everything is spicy, but if you like it a little hot, and we like it hot around here, so I'm here for it. So, Illy, for the parents who are watching this and they're like, I see you did this. This is incredible. I have kids. I want to get out of the United States, but I just don't really know how to make this happen. What is your biggest piece of advice for them?
Um, I went over this last night with somebody, and they said everything that I literally did, which is so crazy. My first thing is always mindset because I feel like a lot of single mothers, especially, people always down talking themselves. People, and I learned this from the counseling and the therapy that I do when I assist people, right? But I realized that people think very fucking low of themselves. They always talking about what they can't do.
Mm,
Oh, I don't think I can do this. Oh, I don't think. Well, shit, you didn't killed it. You killed it already from just your words alone. So yeah, you know what? You're probably right. You can't fucking do it. Just forget it. Never mind. Because you already said you can't do it, and you're speaking against yourself. So right away, mindset. I always knew and believed that I would come over here and be successful. Even with my house hunting, everybody that's been following my journey on my personal page, I've been having This house hunting journey has been a field day. I'm gonna make a whole video about it and put it on my YouTube. It was a headache. I'm not okay. Okay, let me take that back. It wasn't that it wasn't that it was a headache. It was that you really learn who people are. And people speak so highly of people in Thailand. Like, oh, Thai people are so kind. I'm not saying they not. But it's a lot of fucking scamming that goes on. And if you're not real enough with yourself to realize that you're going to be one of the ones that get scammed. And I realized that immediately. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I always start somewhere and end up somewhere else when I'm talking. Okay, so anywho, what I was saying, because I'm so passionate about it, I just be bouncing. Okay, so anywho, what I'm saying is that you pretty much have to believe that no matter what you go through and where you are, you can always do hard things. Because I had told myself way before I got here that this shit was gonna be how I wanted it to go. Everything was gonna go how I wanted it to go. I manifested my whole journey leading here. I told myself that I wanted my house to be sold and all the paperwork and everything to be completed before I left the U.S. I sat at the closing table the day before my flight. If that ain't manifestation, I don't know what that is. I closed the deal, signed the paperwork, closed the deal April 15th. April 16th, that morning, that rising, we were on a plane to Thailand. Because I had manifested that I didn't want to be in another country dealing with paperwork and, oh, you got to sign this, you got to sign that. They was kind of get on my nerve because on the flight, they was like, you know, whatever. But we finalized it, though. But the fact of the matter is, although I wasn't physically in any of these positions in the beginning, I saw myself before any of it happened. I envisioned, I believed that I could get to that point. So it's mindset. You got to believe. If you really want to do it, you got to believe like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
This journey not going to be easy, but I can get it done, even with 3 kids. People be so blown away. They message me all the time. I can't believe you doing this with 3 kids. Why? Like, why? Like, why do y'all think that? And I don't know, because I feel like different mothers, different backgrounds, different experiences, right? I feel like I was raised to not be weak. Like, weakness was a bad thing growing up with me. Like, you weren't allowed to, like, be weak. So even when I wanted to be weak and fold, which this isn't a healthy thing, this isn't a good thing, but I alchemized it to work out for me, though. I wasn't, I couldn't be weak. So even in moments where I felt like, oh my God, I still had to stand up and show up. And that's what I did throughout this whole journey. You think I didn't have moments where I was like, fuck, I don't think this is going in my favor. Oh my God, I'm worried. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Mindset, mindset, mindset. So the first thing is mindset. You have to not allow your brain to play tricks on you, and you have to navigate your brain. You have to be in control. Thought becomes reality. So that was the first thing, mindset. The second thing is planning and knowing what you want in a detail. I have a journal. Before I even knew I was going to get, because I finally just found me a house recently, which I haven't announced to the internet yet. But I just recently found me a house. But before I got my house, I kept wondering, like, why all of these deals falling through? I ain't know God wanted me to have a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, because I never asked for a 5-bed. I got 3 kids. All we needed was three, you know what I'm saying? 3 bedrooms. But it's crazy because I literally wrote in my journal, I wrote it down on what I wanted. And I didn't remember that I wrote it. So I looked at my journal and was like, fuck, I wrote 4 or 5 bedrooms. Oh, what the hell I write that for? So I got serious and I got very detailed about what I wanted. I knew what I wanted and I wrote it down. So you have this. Number 2, you have to know what you want. Mean what you say what you mean. You're going to go to a new territory. You have to have everything detailed and on point as far as how you want this experience to go, because it's your experience. You're the one that's navigating it. You in control. You in the seat. You're the driver. So write it down. Get clear about what it is that you really, really want, because a lot of people, they just go with the wind. And I'm not saying that you can't just go with the wind, but no matter what you do, you want to have some type of navigation of where it's headed.
Yeah.
Like, we use navigations to get around when we go places. If not, your ass gonna end up somewhere where you don't know where you at. Yep. You need the navigation. You need to have a plan. So plan and write down exactly what it is that you want in detail. Number 3, this might be a hard one for people. You have to do everything that's putting you in fear, everything that makes you scared on the journey, or anything that's making you feel like, oh my God, I'm scared, I don't want to do anyway. Do it. That's the sign. That's the sign to let you know to do it. So do things in fear.
Mm.
Fear is literally like an indicator that's saying ding 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 ding, do. You gotta do everything. This journey was so fucking scary, and in every moment where I was scared, I still executed. I still did it. I
Mm.
still did it. I did it. I still did it. And I was so scared. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I am nuts. Why would I take this chance? I don't know if it's going to fall through or not. Okay, so the next thing is going to be constantly rerouting your thoughts when you have negative thoughts. So one thing you got to do, you got to stay on top of yourself when you are having these negative thoughts. You got to keep, when something's telling you can't, yes you can. I
Mm.
had to tell I was in the lift today to grab. And girl, I was talking to myself today because I talk to myself. And I was just talking to myself like, I know things haven't been easy, but girl, you doing a good fucking job. So you got to continuously encourage yourself and correct those limited beliefs, because your mind gonna keep trying to play tricks on you, like, no, you can't do this, or this is
Yep.
hard, or maybe you should just go the fuck back home. Because I had them thoughts a lot of times. Even my dad was like, all of that shit you going through with the school and these language, he was like, I wouldn't be able to do it. And I said, Dad, you know how many thoughts I had? Because the school situation made me want to turn the fuck around. I was like, I ain't got to deal with this shit. I can go back to my country and understand everything, understand every word that's said perfectly fine. When your brain plays tricks on you like that, you have to reroute your thoughts. You have to keep correcting yourself, talking to yourself, and telling yourself, no, that's not true. You don't need to go back home. You in the right place. You made the right decision.
Yes.
So self-motivation, right? And then the last thing I will say is being careful who you surround yourself with on this journey, because people can be poison and they can contaminate you.
Mm.
People will speak fear into you because they scared. They'll start
Mm.
telling you little shit like, you not scared over there? You know they do human trafficking. You know they organ harvesting. Baby, they do that everywhere. They doing that in America.
Yep.
They do it right in some of our the kids'
Oh.
schools. They do it in the hospitals. Let's not pretend like this is not happening all over the world. We're not gonna do that. So you have to be careful with who you surround yourself with. My surroundings got quiet. I stopped talking to a lot of people when I got
Mm.
serious with this, because people are envious, they jealous, and they just fucking negative. They scary. They bots. So they are controlled by a system that has nothing to do with you, and they will project that onto you. So you have to be careful with who you surround yourself with. All of these things is going to help you have a straight path of just you. So if you are affected, it's going to be by you, not no outside energy.
Yeah.
So I can go on and on and on, but those are my mains, and everything that I said is what I applied. So I'm speaking from experience. I
Yeah.
know. And then when I do my consultations with, because I have been getting more moms, I'm telling them the same
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm celebrating a mom who just recently went to Brazil,
Yeah.
and I'm like, she was very scared. She was like, I'm so scared. I was like, good. You're supposed
Oh.
to be scared. That's a great thing. I'm so happy that you're scared. It's showing that you're having a human experience and you're doing something that people don't typically
Yeah.
do. Do your own shit. So those are just my insight, my tips that I would give based off my own experience. You don't have to
Yes.
take it. Y'all ain't gotta take it. But this is just my insight on what I feel people need to really take heed of and apply.
Elliot, you listen, you have dropped some gems. I mean, I relate so much. I mean, just doing it scared, not waiting until you don't feel any fear, acknowledging that feeling the fear means you're going to do something big. Like that's exciting. Like you get to choose how you look at it. You can be like, "Oh, this is so scary," or you can tell your brain like, "Oh, this is so exciting." Like you can acknowledge like, "Oh, this is," you can be like, "Oh, this is so hard." But then you can also remember, "Oh, I can do hard things. I've done hard things before. I can do hard things." Like there's so much mindset mindset behind this, and I'm really glad we're having this conversation because there are not a lot of people who are talking about the mindset that actually goes into doing something this big. And I'm so appreciative of you coming on here and dropping all of these gems. I know that whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, you were over here like, listen, this Illy girl, I'm thinking of what she putting out. Where can I find her? What else she got going on? So for the people who are like, all right, Illy, we done got a little taste and we want more. What you got going on and where can people find you?
Shit, I'm everywhere. I was just telling somebody running all these pages. Ooh wee, not for the weak.
It's
So I'm on Moving Abroad 222. And my personal page is at Alewashun. It was in my bio, but I moved it because I just created a new Moving Abroad 222 Thailand. So we're expanding. So we have a page that's just going to be all Thailand content. That's just like Moving Abroad 222. But I got a YouTube. I got a lot of different things. So my YouTube is Alewashun too, along with my Instagram and my Facebook, spelled ILEWASHUN. TikTok as well. And Moving Abroad 222, obviously Moving Abroad, y'all, 222. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I'm growing those platforms, but we really mainly on Instagram. So I have the Moving Abroad guy, $2.02, y'all. Come on, $2.02. Somebody commented on my post and was like, you will be posting these kind of videos and you're trying to sell your product $2.02.
girl, don't
Come on,
even.
don't do
Don't
that.
even
That's
don't
cheap as
even go there,
hell.
girl. People will be
That's cheap.
people will hate. Just don't even.
Yeah, for
It's
nothing. Cause I'm like $2. Like that's nothing. I didn't make it super high because that's the thing. I rather people just get the information rather than doing that. I also do astrocartography readings if anybody want to like figure out where the best places for you to travel or live, and then I do the moving abroad consultations. Now the moving abroad consultations will be coming to an end eventually because as these platforms and stuff grow, I'm gonna start getting more in the background because that's what I always wanted to do anyway. It's like I just had to show my face for some period, build it up, and then I plan on being in the back
yeah,
because I can't, you know what I'm saying? It's so much life to live. I want to get more hands on with life, but I am hands on right now until everything starts expanding and I can create the right teams. I got an assistant that I just connected with, so I'm gonna be
yes.
having her run everything. So I'm just trying to pretty much do bigger things and let other people come in and do because we expanding, we growing. I really want to do moving abroad 222 meetups in different countries and stuff. So I'm doing like different collabs and partnerships and stuff like that with different companies. So we growing.
Yeah,
The whole moral of moving abroad 222 is we are an international resource hub. That's it. That's all. You can come and watch from afar and don't spend no money. You will still leave with something impactful.
yeah,
Even if you don't spend no money, you don't buy nothing, an ebook, a consultation, you will still learn just from watching the experiences and getting the knowledge. So that's why I like to like make it where people get a lot of free knowledge because when people feel like they're learning something, that's gonna encourage them. They're gonna want more than they're spending money.
yeah,
So yeah, I got a lot going on. Then we're gonna do the master class called it's monetizing your gifts. So I'm gonna pretty much teach people how to make money virtually because I have a lot of faceless pages and stuff that I do make money from. So I'm gonna show people how to do that, how to use Canva, how to use Chat GPT, how to use AI, as I do some background AI stuff too. So it's just a lot.
it's a
So we
yeah. That's
gotta
a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. And I'm like, where do I put all of this energy? Oh my God, it's so much. But it's like I love to just do different things. But I really, my main focus is teaching people how to make money online.
Yeah,
Like, people don't understand that theme pages, you just gotta wanna put the time into it.
yeah,
It's a thing. Making money virtually is a thing.
yep,
All you have to do is just post and be consistent, study the algorithm, study whatever platform you want to use, and you can build from the bottom up.
yeah.
It's easy. Everybody can do it. There is no way you should have a phone and you not making money from your phone. Why the fuck are you online
Mm,
scrolling? You looking at what everybody else doing and you ain't made $2, $5, $10 from your phone? That's
Illy,
unacceptable. That's unacceptable to me.
Girl, listen. We could do a whole other live on that conversation because yeah, and you already know. You already know. It's the I don't know how, but I'm like you spend 4 hours a day on social media. You don't know how to make money from social media. Okay. Okay. Well, you have your priorities and we have ours. And that, it is what it is. But Illy, this was such a great conversation. Thank you again so much for dropping all these gems for us. And if anybody has any questions, you can drop them below in the comments. If you're watching the replay, definitely make sure that you connect with Illy, book your consultation, get her ebook. Y'all, astrocartography, look, stay tuned because we coming back with that because I got a lot of my own questions about that as well. But thank you again for joining everybody, and yeah, we will catch y'all next time.
Thank
See
you
you later, Illy.
for having me.
Of
Peace.
course, we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Bye.
See you.